Bien le bonjour. J'espère que tu es prête ou prêt pour ce dernier acte de Dishonored Death of the Outsider. Avec cette dernière mission A Hole in the World où on va essayer de rentrer dans le void pour éliminer l'outsider. Alors lisons juste le petit blabla comme d'habitude. The silvergraph plate you recovered from the Royal Conservatory points to a secret location far away in the mountains near Shindaery Peak. Once you're there, find an entrance to the void and eliminate the outsider. Ok, let's do this. Déjà le bruit des petites mouches. Excellent. Alors, he's close. My nights on this mountain have been sleepless, but last night I dreamt about the outsider. I knew I would, sooner or later. He was held in the void, eyes shut tight as if he were dreaming something just as terrible. I didn't hesitate. I put my living hand to his cheek, then pushed the knife deep into his chest. I leaned into it with my whole body as it slid into him with a shudder, blood welling up over my fingers. His eyes opened, then I saw him face to face, just for a moment. Then he fell, trembling in the dark, and all I could see was Deirdre, twitching in the gutter like the day she died. I had to force myself to wake up, just so I could look away. I know the knife becomes a part of me when I can't see it. I feel it in my chest, in my throat. I could hate the outsider for what he's done to me, twisting up the few memories I hold dear, showing me horrors I never want to witness, leaving me with ragged pieces of myself, all bound up in shadows. Can I end his miserable life for that? On verra. Travel log. Putain, on a oublié de lire le Stolen Archive. On va le lire maintenant, hein, parce que sinon ça va pas. Alors, the twin-bladed knife. Dowd is dead. I'm all that's left of him. Me and this knife I can't let go. Dolores Michael's bank was a puzzled box of miserable secrets, and right at the center was the reason for it all. A woman towed to breaking and... Putain, j'arrive pas à lire. Ouais, towed to breaking and the knife she tried to hide. The outsider handed the knife to me himself. He wants to know what I'm going to do with it. He'll find out soon enough. Why does this thing have two blades? Nothing ever gets stuck between them. None of this voice shit ever makes any sense. Alone again. I burned Dowd's body today. When I left the whalers, the rats were still piling corpses in the street. There wasn't anyone alive in those months who didn't learn grief. Even Dowd nearly lost himself to it then, but I can't lose myself. Not now. Not again. When Deirdre died, who I was or what I'd done died too. No one else saw me like she did. No one until I met Dowd and he gave me purpose again. When I left Dunwall, I let it heal over with lies. But my time back with Dowd reopened that wound. What I can hope now is that I'll help him in his final days, just like he helped me. Stolen secrets. At the bank, I learned more about the pharmacist Cienfuegos. He was an Eyeless and an artist too. He painted the void and was close to finding out how the cult leaders reached that place. He stole documents from Dolores Michaels and sent them to the Royal Conservatory. I need to find them so I can see what he saw. His paintings are quiet, if a painting can be quiet. Quiet, but unsettled. He wanted to know everything, uncover every secret. He was searching, just like me, and he was killed for it. A broken coven. The last time I was in Syria Garden, the Royal Conservatory had become a nest for the same coven of witches I'd worked with in Dunwall years ago. The curator, Brianna Ashworth, and a group of women were living there, performing odd ritual with bones and glass. Now, the Abbey of the Everyman and their witch hunters have taken it over and are gutting the place of all traces of black magic. If I'm lucky, the documents I need haven't been burned yet. When the outsider is gone and the overseer can't use him to prey on people's fear, I'll be there laughing as the Abbey falls to pieces. J'avoue. Alors, celui du jour. The way to Shindaery, North Quarry. I never know exactly what Sister Roswin saw in her visions, but something made her hesitate. Something made her hold onto that silvergraph long enough for me to save it from the fire. The archive that Sunfuego stole shows me exactly what the void touched our world, where I can reach the outsider. I don't know what else I found there. Other whispers and legends say something terrible. Something you can't forget. I won't know what's true until I reach it. What do you pack for a journey to Void? I just left everything behind. Leaving Karnaca. Every day Karnaca gets smaller. That swarming, stinking city, now nothing but a few lights in the distance. But I can't look back anymore. The Void is closer with every step. It's quiet out here. Sometimes, all I can hear is my own breath, my own heartbeat. It reminds me of being on the open ocean. Feeling like you're the only one left alive. Feeling like the world won't care if you don't come back. Nothing but me and my thoughts. My choice. Everything I've done led me to this place, to this moment. Killing the Duke's brother when I was a kid. Betraying Dowd. Helping Emily retake the throne. But even then, I never felt important. I was always just another desperate person trying to make sense of her life. I watched my whole world being taken from me over and over. This time, I gave it all up on my own. I'm climbing the mountain. I don't know what waits for me there. But the outsider is watching, and he knows it was my choice to go. To the summit. The outsider hasn't known anything but hatred for thousands of years. He was killed to fulfill a purpose. No one asked him what he wanted. The lights went out in this world, and his eyes adjusted to the dark. I know what real loneliness is like. If I hadn't been for Dowd, I would have died from it. Now I'm walking into the void to face the loneliest creature in the world. Maybe the outsider knows I'm just chasing down someone who can give me a bit of purpose. C'est tellement triste. I have nothing left except promises to the dead. When I reach him, I see more clearly than ever. C'est tellement triste, les gars. Alors, aïe. Qu'est-ce qu'on a? Ah, là, je pensais qu'en dormant, ça allait soigner notre, notre vie, mais que dalle. Je pensais pouvoir feinter le système, et ben pas du tout.
Where is everyone? I hate this place already.
Oh, il est trop loin le con, hein. Oula. J'ai la peine de rentrer et je fous déjà la merde. En plus, il m'aboie direct. Oh là là. Vous êtes tous là? Ah, je peux pas linker les chiens en fait. Oh là là. Ah ouais, mais ça c'est nul. Tu passes con. Ah, j'étais sûre que je pourrais linker les chiens, mais après, putain. Je suis un peu déçue. Je vais laisser un truc. Difficulties continue at Shindaery North Quarry. Concerning reports have disrupted mining activity at Shindaery North Quarry yet again, with many working on-site complaining of unsettling visual and auditory hallucinations. These have ranged from seemingly innocuous instances of misplaced equipment to large sections of the mine disappearing and reappearing within hours. Très bien. The widespread nature of this collective hallucination have made them difficult for the Shindaery Mining Company to dismiss. Furthermore, rumors of black damp, minor slang for a lack of breathable air caused by underground gases, have spread, leading to several threats of a general strike across the company's workforce, as well as a growing labor shortage as many miners choose to leave the troubled site. Accusations of poor working conditions, particularly lack of adequate ventilation, are entirely unfounded and ultimately harmful to our operations, said Berenice Castiglia, a representative of the Shindaery mining company, when raised for comment. We are committed to the health and safety of our workers and have taken steps to ensure those reporting headaches, memory loss and hallucination have access to proper counseling and treatment. Très bien. Une petite douche.
Some days stone, some days iron, shiver, and still. Beer tastes like blood, and nothing but dust.
Très rassurant. Alors. Je vais d'abord aller voir en haut. Ah bah non. Oula. J'ai failli faire des bêtises. Ah mais je peux charger du coup mon shot. Yes. Ah bah ouais, bah voilà. Mais quand on est débile, bah il faut quand même. Je suis nulle franchement pour annuler ces trucs là, que ce soit le blink ou ça, mais moi j'en pleure. Tous intelligents. Heureusement. Oh mais... mais pourquoi? Mais j'apprendrai jamais, je crois. C'est ça qui me rend triste en fait. Je crois qu'il n'y a personne. Silver rush at Shindaery Peak. Silver fever swept through Karnataka this week as would-be prospectors hoisted a shovel and left to strike it rich at Shindaery Peak. The recent discovery of thick veins of silver at Shindaery North Quarry have brought unprecedented profits to mining companies and small claim holders alike. Reports say the lighted stroke of the pick uncovers silver nuggets worth thousands. The wild rush to make fortune means that claims on the peak are going fast, but there are still opportunities to work as miner with the Shindaery Mining Company. The company offers a percentage of profits to all who sign on dig for them. So what are you waiting for? To Shindaery! Yay! Il y a des choses à... Ah, oui, je sens ma manette vibrer. Pas là-haut. Ah. Pas ça. Non. Est-ce que genre ça je ne peux pas l'atteindre si j'ai pas le pouvoir de Billy? Ah ah. Ça me contrarie. Merde, faut genre que je fasse 2 fois ça. Non! J'ai pas le temps de cliquer. J'annule et en fait après je me TP quand même. Oh. Pas une fenêtre là-haut? Oh mais c'est trop nul! Enfin, je vais réessayer. Oh. Genre très très loin. Allez! Non! Ah, je suis dégoûtée. Ouais, je suis sûre qu'il y avait des trucs bien. Oh, ce jeu de merde. Caca. Bon, si par hasard tu trouves un moyen d'y aller, c'est très volontiers que je t'écoute. Oh! Hello? Je sais pas endroit un peu abandonné, moi ça me fout les chocs. Oula, j'ai failli tomber. Ah. Sérieux, j'ai tout. D'accord. On va voir qu'est-ce qu'on a comme bon charm. Alors... Ah. Hmm. Après ça, je sais pas comment les crafter. Est-ce que c'est une amélioration qu'on achète au marché noir? Franchement, je sais pas. Pas du tout. Ce serait bien de savoir. Bon. Alors encore une fois, si tu sais, volontiers, si tu veux éclairer mon petit cerveau. Alors, Una. Miner's letter. Sioban. I know you don't believe me, but I saw it again. The air shivered and split apart and sealed up again like a river crust. The rest of the day I didn't recognize anyone's faces. It was like their mouths and noses and eyes all blurred together like a bad silvergraph. I had to guess who was who based on their clothes. We didn't leave Dunwall for this shit. When the Pendleton mice... Oh, c'est juste... Closed up, we thought, now's our chance. We can go to Circonus. There's better pay and better weather. Now? Maybe we should have stayed. I don't know. I can't handle this. I can't go down there not knowing what I might see. Please, you have to believe me. You're the only one who knows. Your brother, Niall. Ah, hallucination. Oh, pas. Ah. Yes, merci. Un autre trône. Obligé de passer par là en bas là. Oula. Oulala. Trop de choses qui se passent.
She will peel back all the lies and symbols. For some, a catastrophe. For others, a revelation. And for some, my death will be a promise.
Trop triste. Moi je veux pas le tuer. Oula.
Calm yourself, Antero. You had that coming and you know it. How will you find wisdom when you ignore the simplest tenets? Seek no solace in mundane things, cast aside distractions. Your little pets were distracting your gaze from the void.
Ah ouais, mais regarde de travers.
Where did you disappear to?
Ok.
Come out and fight, you rat!
Si je me cache. Ah non, mais je vais tellement me faire détecter.
Why do they look like that? What goes on here?
How dare you!
Que c'était nul. Allez, mais crève. Ah. Bon, bah désolé. Du coup, on n'a pas pu écouter ce qui se passait là. Merde. On va changer juste pour essayer d'écouter ce qui se passe.
She will peel back all the lies and symbols. For some, a catastrophe. For others, a revelation. And for some, my death.
How will you find wisdom when you ignore the simplest tenets? Seek no solace in mundane things, cast aside distractions. Your little pets were distracting your gaze from the void.
Where's the harm? I was just feeding the rats and talking to them.
Comme moi.
Like the lonely rat
Oh,
boy from
no.
the stories.
We're not in a story. The void needs you.
I don't want to go to the void anymore. I've seen what happens. The stone grips more than your body. It takes over your mind and heart.
This is our purpose, Antero. This is why we're here. Don't fight the influence of the endless and empty.
I don't want to. I'm scared. I don't want to become like them.
Don't worry, you won't.
Bien. Oh merde. Non, non. Pardon. Personne.
Just my nerves, I suppose.
Why do they look like that? What goes on here?
So long the envisioned have held their positions beyond the inner veil.
Oh mais non. Ah. Non, j'aurais été deg. Merci. Merci. Allons. Est-ce qu'il y a des petites choses à scavenge là? Vous parlez?
Cold stone hard. Tastes bad. Breaks teeth.
Super, et ça m'a vraiment donné un indice. Ah, regarde. Comme dans les autres, on peut faire un non létal et un létal. Bon, comme... Bon, je répéterai sûrement à la fin, mais... Comme j'ai déjà fait la voix non létale, je vais y aller avec la voix létale. Mais je pense que je rechargerai pour te montrer justement la voix non létale. De toute façon, ça change juste le petit blabla de fin, quoi. Mais quand même, c'est intéressant. Je pense que je rechargerai. Ah. Ah bah encore je suis obligée de par là. Hello. Quelqu'un? J'ai pas l'impression. Du bruit partout, j'aime pas ça, ça m'angoisse. J'aurais essayé. On a déjà lu un. Ouais. J'ai un petit doute. Alors. Je sens ma manette. C'est où? Ah. L'étage du dessous. Ah. Là-haut. Ah. Oh. Truc. J'ai juste commencé. Ah, je suis carrément passée de l'autre côté. Ok. Ah. Non. Ah, je vais récupérer. regarder vers l'autre pièce là pour essayer de rentrer. Celle à laquelle je voulais péter la porte. Alors, supervisor's note. Adrastos. The front gate code is 714. I can't stay here a minute longer. For a while it was just the little flashes of light, like cracks in a window pane. But now I hear voices. And it's not just a few whispers, whole conversation, like they're right beside me. Sometimes I see strange people out of the corner of my eyes, but then they're gone. It's like everything shivers and changes in front of me, and then it's back to normal, like nothing happened. This place is cursed. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not waiting for it to get worse. I'm going back to Karnak. Connor. Très bien, j'ai juste noté le code. Pas besoin de rouvrir mon carnet après. Hop. Alors. Que d'ici. Ah. C'est quoi ça? Ouh. Oh, elle est vide. Il n'y a pas d'argent pour moi. Non, je suis pas d'accord. La thune. Du coup, je peux pas descendre en fait. Aller choper les potions. Ça me... Il me semble que je peux pas avec le coup. Sauvegarder, pas perdre trop de munitions quand je vais essayer. Ça va me saouler. Alors, qu'avec ça. Nice. Un point. Ah. Nice. Ah, heureusement qu'il y a le double saut ainsi. Ça serait pas cool. Alors, je vais d'abord voir ici. Pas que dalle. Ah, un black charm. Allons voir qu'est-ce qu'il fait. Ok. Hop. Pas fifou, hein. Ah mais du coup on peut passer là, on a pas besoin du
I
numéro.
saw you hasten from the library yesterday. You communed with the eye. Tell me how you feel for my studies.
Yes. I stared into its core and recognized myself. It yearns as I yearn. Under its gaze, I sank beneath the surface of these waters. I walked the path of the envisioned and witnessed the churning of the void in the flesh.
Je crois qu'il
Feel
était assez
the eye's presence in my mind.
Yes, yes. The dead see with such depth. The eye of the dead god sees all our desires.
One day we too shall see the truth. I know it.
C'est super les gars. Je peux genre me taper derrière tout. Oh oh, non non non. Chut, chut, chut. Voilà. Attends, je crois que je vois une meuf paniquée là-bas. Non. Ah, je suis trop loin. Nul. Je vais aller là-dessus, moi. Ah.
What? No! No!
Elle est où l'autre? Regardez-les. Ah.
The void will eat you alive.
Voilà. Ok, bah je crois que je... Je crois, j'entends plus de bruit de pas. Mince, il était mort où lui? Merci. Ah! The truth awaits. Tonight we commune with the eye. When you've finished your studies for the evening, leave the library and join us in the chamber. The relic will look inside us, and we must aid its search. The void lies inwards. We must bring it to the surface to see the truth. Bring 3 sharp knives. Ah, ça c'est super récurrent, ouais. Rassurant, pardon. Ah, lui aussi, d'accord. Ils tous communiés, très bien. Juste ouvrir la porte. Quand même, j'aime bien genre tout ouvrir au cas où. Genre déloquer justement les portes, ouvrir les fenêtres, je me dis. On sait jamais. Ok. Petite sauvegarde. Hop. God. Ah ouais. Super ascenseur de mine où il faut être gros. Pour pouvoir monter. Ok, ah. Attention. Cool. Un petit rat, t'es tout seul.
Yes, tried to accept, swirl, crawled up legs, bited its soft flesh, bited eye and hand and heart.
Est-ce que ça me sert? Non, je crois que j'en ai même pas besoin. Hop, puis je te laisse. Ok, bah il me faut des cadavres. Enfin, un cadavre, vous pouvez aussi... Enfin, si jamais tu... Je peux parler, hein, je suis désolée. Je réfléchis en même temps à des trucs. Si jamais tu fais la version non létale, tu peux sans autre empiler des gens inconscients aussi, ça marche. Jamais. Je les foutre là, et puis après je vais explorer encore un peu comme ça. On va monter là. Genre tout là-haut. Oula! Pourquoi ça fait ce bip? Ah, parce que je peux y aller, ok. Ah! Je crois que je peux péter ça, genre de loin, et ça aurait... Ça serait tombé, pardon, sur les gens. Je pense que ça... Je vais voir une ombre, ça me fait un peu peur. Qu'on a ici? Que dalle, très bien. Ouvrir les portes. Ah. Je vais m'enfoncer, je sais pas trop où. Ah, peut-être que je peux monter tout en haut, mais à pied, sans utiliser l'ascenseur. Oh putain. Oh putain, con. Allez là. Mince. Pas du tout.
Some aren't ready to shed their attachments.
Ils sont 150
Number
000.
one man, an aristocrat from Denmark, has granted permission to join us here. The fool brought his prize hound, as if he could keep it in the mind, as if we don't have enough vermin.
C'est méchant, son petit dogo.
Dragon knight, bird's eye.
Oh! Je sais, mais j'en ai tué je sais pas combien de ces chiens, mais c'est triste quand c'est ton chien, quoi. Non. Oh non, 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 pardon, pardon. Oh, oh là là, mais moi faut que j'arrête. Des conneries comme ça.
So you want to die?
Do with that shadow.
T'es où, toi? Attends-moi. Oh! Oh, se fermer, mince. C'est quoi? Hé! Je l'avais pas vu. Non. Erk. Je suis pas d'accord. Hello. Ah, voilà, vous voyez. Ok. Est-ce que ça me broie des trucs genre... Non, ce serait trop deg hein, de mettre des gens dedans. Ok. Ça fonctionne pas. Heureusement, en fait. Ah oui, ok. Regarde, comme d'hab. Hop. Ouais, en fait, on serait venu ici. J'allais dire le fauteuil, l'ascenseur avait fonctionné. Mais je pense que ça, on pourra redescendre plus tard au cas où. Voilà. Oh.
What would it be like to finally experience meaning? I see forever, and even I can't see the future.
Elle a l'air tellement déprimée. Oh mais... Ah. Oula. Oh, alors ça me foutait les boules, ces trucs de
We
merde.
are truly fortunate to experience the passage of Envisioned twice in one day.
I read that Envisioned can't communicate with us anymore. Can they see us? Or can they only see what's in the void?
In Witness by Stone, Nozaku posits that Envisioned can see us, but choose not to speak. They have loftier matters to ponder when they walk the void.
One day, if I'm lucky enough to hear the call and become envisioned, I'll still acknowledge Eyeless like us.
So you say, but they never do.
Non mais j'aimerais bouger. Genre te cacher dans un... Bon, en gros, dans ce que j'ai... Enfin, non, on va peut-être avancer dans le jeu avant. Je t'explique ce que c'est une vision. C'est pas drôle, mais... Enfin, même en avançant, c'est un peu... Mais... Alors, on est clairement... C'est des petits cultistes. Ah bah oui, c'est... Tordu les mecs. Eh, regarde ta gueule. Enfin, tu vois, genre, ils sont de plus en plus pierreux. Enfin, comme le gars à l'extérieur qui s'est fait dézinguer, tu sais, oh non, le void, enfin la pierre, elle prend pas juste notre cœur, mais aussi notre âme, je sais pas comme ça.
Run and hide, find small places, still the huge eye sees. The huge eye sees drags us to the dark places, drags us to the cold. Everything's stone, everything old.
Des trucs. Oh. Qu'est-ce que ça fait la merde là-dedans? Genre le souffle. Oula. Oh putain, ça donne le vertige. Oula. Non. Merci. Alors. Bon, c'était là où on serait arrivé avant. Ah, qu'est-ce qu'il y a ici? Ah, j'ai vu quelqu'un. Oui. Quoi? Y'a que dalle, laisse-moi tranquille. Préviens les décimer pour être tranquille. Oh!
Had long discussions on ancient translation and linguistics. It's a pity, really. He was a true scholar.
I wouldn't praise him too loudly. He violated the highest commandment of our society. The ritual hold is forbidden to us, as you well know.
I understand his punishment. He had to die, I don't dispute that. But his work...
There are things that even those such as we were never meant to gaze upon. Remember that.
Bien. Est-ce que ça me donne des... Alors, Malchiodi was killed by his fellow cultists for violating several commandments regarding the ritual hold. There may be some interesting clues in his lodging. Okay. The eye of that god can be found near the library. Oui, ok. Puis les rats ils me disent la même chose. Que cet œil de dieu, d'un vieux dieu, nous permet d'aller dans le void, ou de voir le void en fait. Donc, ah, qu'est-ce que c'est? Lost Days at Shindaery, a memoir. It started with hallucination. Juana Gallardo screaming when her house vanished as she unlocked her front door. Miners returning from the depth with hair raising tales of tunnels appearing already carried and cleared beneath their pickaxes. With soon, the entire town was awash in the unexplainable. The first time I hallucinated, I was working in the Shindaery mining company store, distributing supplies to prospectors fresh off the carriage from Kanaka. I pulled a head lantern from the shelf and turned to hand it to a customer, but he was gone. The shop was gone. I was standing alone in the dust-swept street, amid tumbled ruins. It was North Crowy Town, but different, as if decades had pressed it into the earth. I blinked, and the vision dissipated. I was left befuddled, staring at a curious customer. Soon, all of North Crowy started flickering in and out of existence. Talked to a friend and they disappear mid-sentence. Roll over in your bedroom and wake under starry skies. Lost sense of what was real and what was illusory. And it worsened, the town disappearing for days while we camped in caves and spoke in hushed voices. It became unbearable. One by one, my neighbors fled to Kalero, Bastillon, anywhere but Shindaery. Soon, I was the only one left, wandering deserted streets alone. I'd gone half mad with loneliness, roaming mine shaft deep into the mountains, when I stumbled upon a giant eye. It seemed to hum with power, beckoning me. And when I touched the eye, understanding exploded within me. The invisible layers of the universe were laid bare to me. I left the mine a wiser woman. Shindaery's secrets, a mystery no more. I witnessed no more vanishings. Forever after, the town remained stone solid for me. Donc ce putain d'œil de Dieu, d'un Dieu, est dans la roche. Alors, bon, je pense que j'imagine bien de quel œil de Dieu il s'agit. Hein. Il n'y en a pas 36 000 de dieux dans ce...
I should soak my bone talisman in whale oil for a few hours. It has seen better days.
Will I be ready when my turn comes?
Oups. Ah, vous êtes tous très bizarres. Hein. Des tronches bizarres. Alors, qu'est-ce que c'est ça? Oh, c'est l'œil. Mais je crois qu'on l'a déjà vu à part ça, cette peinture, dans d'autres maisons comme ça, genre des constructions, ou justement dans des silvergraph qu'on voit justement dans les baraques des gens. C'est pas la première fois. Alors, Hues of the Void, pardon, by A. Nongui. Alors, we lack the language to express the void in all its complexities. We have no words for its beauty. There is the rich, velvety darkness of the depth of the ocean, the hollow hues of the sky on a starless night, the cold color when you close your eyes to moonlight, the mottled pigments of a bruise on tender skin, the sharp black at the corners of your vision as you faint from exhaustion, a crumbled anointment of old blood, your own face reflected faintly in a dark glass. I was ignorant of this delicate gradations when I first arrived, but the eye of the dead god has penetrated my senses and opened my mind. What was once a dull grey has revealed its subtle luster. In my former life, I was a painter. I captured the blush of a young debutante's cheek, or the turn of a noble's shapely calf. I was paid vast sums to render the most insipid, lifeless aristocratic faces into grand examples of virile splendor. But nothing I had ever seen compares to the grace and color of the void. Il y a trop de... Ah, j'ai cru que c'était une autre note, ça aussi. Ah, c'est tout. Ah bon? Je suis désolée. Entry forbidden.
Could be worth looking into.
Ah, Malkiodi. Donc chez lui qu'on doit aller. Là c'est quoi to the eye? Ouais, on doit aller là-bas parce qu'on sait que du coup c'est Eyeless, ils essaient de commuter là-bas. Enfin de communier là-bas. Et que nous, enfin, qu'apparemment ils peuvent voir le void, tout ça, et que nous finalement on veut aussi voir le void pour essayer d'aller tuer l'outsider. Fondamentalement. Ah, pas le... Alors, functions and responsibilities of recent initiates. New initiates to our fellowship are required to perform menial tasks for the upkeep and senior members' living conditions. These include, but are not limited to, laundering, sanitation and waste disposal, meal preparation, recording, dictation and copying notes, maintenance of technical equipment, record keeping and collation. Whatever your station was in life, you are now a custodian of the eye, a revenant of the outsider, and a member of our privileged community. Together, we watch the ages pass with impunity. Together, we maintain the delicate position of reality. Know that in time, the void will open up its truth to you, and all who seek it with fervor. Ok. Donc c'est bien ça, hein. On confirme que l'œil, c'est bien celui de l'outsider, quoi. Enfin, qui nous permet d'aller dans le void et que tout est... Pas juste un petit œil comme ça, balai. Oh, merci. Alors, Cultist Diary. 12th Earth. It has begun. When I woke this morning, my shoulder felt stiff and insensate, and when I inspected it, there was a thread of pure silver stone running across my flesh. At last, I am merging with the void. Oh, to be removed from this reality and exist eternal in the next, to see the subtle shifts and patterns of the void, to be closed off from all contact with the lesser creatures. Super. I am eager to see its progress. 24th glance. The stone spreads. It feels humming with heat as it encloses my very heart. Sometimes I am breathless with it. I can barely listen to the others. At times, my tongue won't move for hours, and I am mute. Thicken nets. My left eye has been entirely subsumed by the void. I can see strange shifts in the light, but it is mostly endless darkness. I find it difficult to focus on my work. 11th darkness. My pen slips from my hand, even as I try to write these words. My fingers have grown cold and numbed to all sensation. Some, have even fused together in an amalgam of stone. I am exalted. Ouais, donc c'est bien ça, quoi. Plus ils ont une gueule de cailloux, plus ils ont mergé, fusionné avec le poète, quoi. C'est super. Je vais aller là. Ok. Ah, j'espère juste qu'il n'y a personne qui va rentrer là, sinon ils vont voir tous mes petits cadavres. Ça serait embêtant. Alors... je vais bien m'occuper de tous ces gens là. Pour être tranquille. Pile ou le dernier? Je peux pas? Voilà. J'ai peur de pas réussir à le choper, genre un de ceux-là. Bon, toi. Oh là là, il est tellement pratique ce pouvoir. Oh. Sous. Oh, toi on dirait que t'es pas en train de manger. Ah oui non, là je vais sauvegarder toutes les 2 secondes parce que je viens tendu du cul. Je sais que j'avais essayé du coup de le faire en stealth et non létal et c'était tellement chaud du cul. Je sais que là on peut passer. Ah parce qu'ils sont tous paquets et puis ils me détectaient à 1000 mètres là avec eux. Oh c'est tellement pratique. Oh là là. Sauvegarde. Ah mais j'ai trop peur. Pour les mettre je m'en fous comme je suis du tout. Ah, une petite potion au cas où, c'est toujours bien sympa. Petit ratou. Chant of the eye. A voice for the silence, a face for the terror, a body for the darkness, a wound for the wanting, a knife for the knowing, a hold for the hollow, a truth for the seeker, a charge for the warden, an eye for the eyeless. Stylé, ça je prends une petite capture d'écran. Pas stylé. Alors... Non, non, on a déjà lu ça 40 000 fois, je crois. À peu près, on n'est pas à ça. Là, je sais que ça va commencer à puer la merde. Regarde, non mais regarde comment c'est stylé. Franchement, cette putain de bibliothèque là. Oh, j'adore. Oups. Alors là, ce qui était cool avec les pouvoirs de Billy, c'est que du coup, bah, tu pouvais genre en assommer un et prendre sa gueule et puis te balader et puis voir ce qui se passait. Et ça, c'était assez... Oh mince. Oh non. Non, non, non. Sérieux, ça vous a rien fait? Oh merde, je sais, c'est trop. Oh bah venez alors. S'il vous plaît. Allez. Ah. Ah mais ils sont trop résistants, c'est cool.
You should have stayed away from us.
Mais les gars, ils résistent à toutes mes grenades. Bon d'accord, je sais pas viser, mais enfin... Mais enfin quand même. Alors, bon. C'est vrai que filer the void qui m'embrasse là, enfin qui m'attend, ça ne me dérange pas fondamentalement. Si ça veut dire que je vais voir chouchou. Tu fais quoi toi du coup?
I should soak my bone talisman in whale
Toi
oil.
tu viens avec moi,
It has saved
je
that
chope, viens. Vite vite on se casse. Rien que toi et moi. Oh oh oh. Tiens, je te mets même sur un lit parce que je suis trop chou. Voilà. Ah, j'ai oublié de faire un petit bisou.
Bonne nuit.
Par contre, en passant là, j'ai vu qu'il y avait genre un trou. Un trou. Ok. Oh, bah, c'est bon, ça va. Plan de secours à la retraite. Alors. Oups.
while sheep slumber, we shape them. We made this world. Of a knife blade.
Non, non, non.
Non, 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 non.
Non, 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 non. Oh non. Oh shit. Merde.
Let's see what you can do with that.
Calmez s'il vous plaît là.
You're bleeding to death.
Oh là là. Ok, je vais peut-être passer par un autre endroit. Parce que voilà. Parce que ça fait mal. Si je passais par là-haut. Oula, pardon. Non, non, pardon.
Are they even human anymore?
I'll have a look around.
No luck.
For so long.
Oh là là. Mais pourquoi je suis nulle? Qu'est-ce qu'il y a ici? Je suis où? Ah, je peux passer par là depuis le début. Ah, je suis... Stylé, y a pas du lore à lire là? Oh. Oh là là, c'est trop stylé. Alors, moi je trouve ça très kiffant là, cette putain de... qui n'a aucun sens, c'est trop. Alors...
No, no, no. Have you read the third book of Bernard's seminars? Surely you must. Essential. The envisioned broke apart the gate to the will hold to maintain the order of our existence. And the pieces exist outside of the passage of time. It is the basis of our semiotics. Thusly, all meaning flows from this state of within and without.
Yes. My work focuses on this foundational act.
C'est tellement
The
stylé, genre les
exclusion of the
putains
outsider
d'érudites.
is necessary to maintain the hermeneutics of the self.
Ah oui,
What is
bien
us,
sûr.
what is they, without the outsider, to create that distinction.
Have you encountered Camilla Correa's latest work? There is always the problem of framing, of delimitation. Do these distinctions make communication possible or impossible?
Interesting theory.
Corée? Oh, that she would question. What nonsense.
Oula, mais pourquoi vous bougez comme ça là? Oh, oh j'ai du bol là les gars. Oh là là. Oh là là. Mais j'aimerais bien genre quitter tout le monde et après genre me balader. Je sais pas ce que je veux dire. Dis oui s'il te plaît. Genre. Oh bah voilà, pour éviter ce genre de choses. Oh bah, génial.
I'm going to have a look around.
Oh,
Hear
shit.
that? The void hisses your name.
Aïe, moche là, laisse-moi.
Oh, you're hurt.
Aïe,
Let me
oh.
wipe the blood from your eye.
Elles sont trop violentes.
What's all this?
Oh, par contre ces animations de fin sont stylées. Dire que si j'avais du skill, on les aurait jamais vus. Hein? Et ça t'embouche un coin. Merde.
Didn't like that.
Ah ouais, mais si vous me voyez direct.
Make this too quick. Let's
Non,
enjoy
mais
the
vous
moment.
tirez sur vos potes là. Non, laisse-moi tranquille. Je gaspille combien de potions? Oh! C'est quoi ça? Oh mon dieu, j'avais jamais vu ça. Ok. Oh, j'aimerais tellement genre pouvoir zoomer et comprendre ce qui est écrit là. Ça mérite aussi une petite capture d'écran. Mais... Ah, c'est trop stylé. Oh! Non, 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 non! J'en ai marre. Je me casse. On me trouverait jamais. Mais non, de nouveau, aïe. Oh. Putain, ils viennent tous. Vraiment que je me casse. Bon. C'est par l'autre endroit que j'avais. Ah bah parfait, je te bouffe ton... Hein, merci. Ils ont tous déserté cet endroit du coup. Je sais pas où ils sont. Ah. Vous êtes tous en train de me chercher, c'est très...
You died serving something larger than yourself.
Oh.
Where are you hiding? The eye will guide right to you.
Don't you know who you're dealing with? You're dead already.
À part ça, il y a un succès que j'ai pas fait que j'aimerais bien faire. Non, je vais faire une nouvelle. Ok, on construit. Ouais. C'est genre d'utiliser là le void strike, donc notre clic droit avec la lame, on voyait quelqu'un dans le vide. Pas vraiment de vide là à ma disposition. Ça risque de pas marcher. Le void va me manger.
We're always
C'est
watching.
ça que j'entends déjà.
Always.
Non, je vais tenter, j'ai bien envie d'essayer de les envoyer dans le vide là.
Search every shadow. She cannot be far, stranger.
Oh, ça va marcher. Nul. Pardon. Ah, je t'avais pas vu. Mince, bon bah ça va pas marcher. C'est trop nul. Ah! On saura que c'était pas une bonne idée.
We're
On essaie
always
de faire ce
watching.
succès quoi, mais...
Always.
oula, oula. Ah. Non, ça, si on fait 3 d'un coup, ça m'arrange. Merci. Qui c'est qui est resté? Ah, il avait les yeux qui brillent encore, lui. Hein. Ouais. Merde, mais il est où? Ah. Ah, j'ai perdu le survivant. Eh, mais c'est pas censé me redonner de la vie là si j'utilise la vision là, la dark vision. Ah. Ouais, hein. Je perds tellement vite. Je crois que t'es tout seul en fait. Je suis pas sûre mais ça peut. On va essayer de charger du coup. Cool. Oh, j'ai entendu faire plouf. Bon. Je crois que j'ai buté tout le monde, donc je pense qu'on peut aller observer un petit peu tout, se balader, on va lire genre des trucs, tout ça. Il faut des envision là, il faut des dessins. Je suis désolée de faire du pâte. Alors, Can the outsider speak? An analysis of his visitation. 1. Excerpt from monograph on encounters with the outsider. It is a rare enough tale, but one which varies only in the tone and enthusiasm of its narrators. Select few are, through dreams or contact with shrines, transported to the void and converse with the outsider himself. Some, it is said, walk away from these encounters with his favor. Naturally, it's been difficult to untangle reliable accounts from the rambling of desperate seekers of the outsider's attention. Nevertheless, an analysis of these events is warranted. The Abbey of the Everyman warns that the outsider walks among them, but to them he is merely the stranger who tempts you to infidelity or the pickpocket who robs you of trinkets. Only the barest understanding of the truth exists in their foolish litany. We, of the eye, know where the outsider truly lies. However, if these stories are to be believed, then we must question the extent of his power in the void. Does he choose these dialogues consciously? What is the nature of this conversation? If needed, they are intelligible? What is his physical nature in these moments? These are the questions I attempt to answer in the chapters that follow. Et moi je le veux la suite. Merde. C'est trop cool quoi. Putain d'érudits ouais, qui font des travaux là-dessus. C'est excellent. Je trouve ça excellent. Je sens qu'il y avait un livre là. Oui. Can the outsider speak? An analysis of his visitation 4. We must consider then the possibility of the outsider's own agency in these encounters. Does the void itself direct his attention, or does the boy, the envisioned submerged into the ether of that place so long ago, still retain a portion of his memory, his conscience, and indeed his desires? If we must entertain this thought, then we must also radically restructure our approach to the void and its lonely denizen. For surely it is alarming to consider, if the outsider speaks, why does he not speak to us? He has never conversed with a member of our society, let alone bestowed any favor. Yet we in all the eye know the truth of his creation, and are his wardens in the void. So why then does he so often appear to the ignorant and miserable, the wronged and the hurt? What knowledge does he seek? What does he hope to gain by traversing the dreams of these people, or by granting them such abilities as to allow them to change the circumstances of their lives? I am afraid, as always, that my research has left us with more questions than answers. C'est pas faux. Il y avait des livres là qu'on pouvait lire. Ou pas? Je crois pas. Là, du coup, on a la version 4. Ah, qu'est-ce que c'est? Library inventory and upkeep. Remigio. Our reference system needs to be reviewed as soon as possible. Bibliographical inconsistencies have been noted in several recent works, which makes study and citation difficult. Some of the older texts have been ignored by rats and need to be rebound. Make sure there's no mold in the pages before removing the damaged binding. The mines can be dumped in unexpected places. Also put down more poison. The first lot is clearly not working. Have the latest accounts of sanguine infusion use been sent to us? It is needed for our research. Repeated use of these infusions seem to have a deleterious mental effect alongside prolonged contact with the void. It is of great interest. We must compare long and short-term consequences. One of the Eyeless in Koronaka has smuggled a letter along with a shipment of texts and provision. It was examined and burned. Its intended recipient is unknown, but it appears to be from a loved one. We'll find out for whom it was written and deal with them accordingly. For now, direct the Eyeless to seek out the smuggler and the loved one. First, Librarian Chronovero. Chronovero, je ne sais pas. C'est pas lien. Alors, moi j'aimerais bien trouver la suite de ce truc du void là. On va trouver, j'espère. Quelque chose ici. Oui! Can the outsider speak? An analysis of his visitation 3. The most common dialogic interaction recorded with the outsider are conjuration occurring at one of the many shrines to him constructed across the Isles. They are considered, like all things of interest, heretical by the abbey and are forbidden from public view. These simple altars, often made of wood, wire, and other materials found close at hand, are adorned with candle, dried herbs, coin, and pieces of cord of whalebone known to possess a blessing from the void. It is not known if any item beyond the latter makes a tangible difference to the shrine power. Nevertheless, it is through these ritualized sites that contact with the outsiders is thought possible. However, many such attempts are failures. Long are the list of potential incantations, sacrificial animals, and body fluids which are said to compel the outsider to appear. None are successful, but yet these remain scattered. First-hand accounts of people bearing on their flesh what is known colloquially as the outsider's mark, which we recognize as a symbol engraved in whalebone runes, seemingly communing with these altars and, when they wake, are able to recount specific of the outsider's voice and appearance which do not vary substantially in their description. Ok. Maintenant j'aimerais le numéro 2 là, qui nous montre. Je sais pas par ça pourquoi il y a ces numéros. Est-ce que c'est... Ah ouais, c'est peut-être les anciens couleurs 2000, je sais pas quoi. Oh putain, il y en a un qui a survécu. Oula. Ouh, j'ai fait une connerie. Hihihi, pardon. Voilà. Des os, pas des os. C'est ça. Je peux... Ah, il est projeté de où? Ah.
She is seen through dark waters. Soon she will see in obscurity.
Okay. Preliminary notes on void anomalies. Despite the difficulty, we have managed a general study of the observable halos, as some have called them. The anomalies and their provenance still baffle us. These flaws in reality are imperceptible to those who have only recently joined us in our seclusion. Extended communion the eye is necessary before anything of this nature is revealed to us. Does the eye know? Does it share this knowledge with us so that we might understand their nature? If so, what does my dead eye see? This confluences of the void shows us the possibilities of time. As the ritual hold is outside of time's reach, okay, are we bound up in the strains of several divergences? It may be there are still things beyond our sight. We who watch the world align itself to our desire, are we to witness the end of time as we understand it? Toi, t'es vraiment bizarre. Alors... Bon, je vais trouver le dernier livre, là. C'est ça. Non. Nul. Alors... We Watch the Star by F.H. Clapp. Any child knows his constellation above the isle, the captain at the helm, the tusk leviathan, the vain duchess, the scale he-goat, the moth king. Tales older than the outsider himself, patterns read long ago by the fearful and the ignorant to create meaning from the emptiness that engulfed them. The supposed significance of one's birth in relation to these signs is a common folk tale. Those born under this or that set of star will be lucky or obedient or stubborn or proud. This is, of course, simple superstition. But what may be read in the star is of greater substance than the fortunes of the unimportant masses. The night sky foretold the necessity of the outsider, and urged the envisioned to seek out the wretch who would become him. It is not simply the movement of the distant stars, but when they blink out into nothingness that tells us what the void requires. Alongside the migration of birds and the entrails of certain animals, the disappearance of several permanent celestial lights urged the ancient envisioned to take a helpless orphan and create the outsider from his wretched flesh. Ah oui, d'accord, très bien. Et puis ben ça du coup sur le recoupe avec genre la chanson dont je t'avais déjà parlé puis qu'on a vu la A Month of Darkness qui parle en fait de la création de l'outsider et que bah du coup ben ils ont pris un enfant et qu'ils l'ont un peu sacrifié pour en faire l'outsider quoi. En gros, puis c'est ben ce qu'on vient de lire là aussi du coup. C'est un peu triste. Alors, enfin c'est même très triste. Alors, on a encore beaucoup de choses à faire. Hein. Je pense. Bon, je vais juste relire ça. An evaluation of the permanent Eyeless of Karnak. Jack Kirby, further delay. He is a man of singular dedication. Any difficulty he encounters, he overcomes by sheer force of persistence. He is undoubtedly devoted to our intellectual ideals. A studious man. Dispassionate, yet obsessive. In his single-mindedness he can be prone to nervous fits and neglectful of himself and other duties. Furthermore, he is too enamored of the sanguine infusion and its effect on his mind. Yoon, further delay. An aesthete. He appreciates the pattern and nuances of the void. His knowledge and passion would enrich our pursuits here. But the man is a celebrity. As of yet, he would not be suited to our rigors or our lifestyle. His public profile is too high to relocate without causing some alarm, and we believe he enjoys that fact. Michaels. To ascend within 3 years. A woman of consummate control, she has maintained a network of patrons and subordinates which has allowed our influence to spread and our study to continue. Her reliability and constancy is unquestionable. It is through her efforts and resources that the dangerous relic from the outsider's creation has been kept secured. Our trust was not misplaced. Eh ben, désolé. Elle est plus là-bas. Alors, je vais quand même monter. Ah, je sais pas où est le dernier livre là, le tome 2. Est-ce que l'outsider peut parler? Là-bas. Oh, je vais mourir là, je pense. Non? Yeah. Bah non. Oui. Can the outsider speak? An analysis of his visitation, number 2. Perhaps the most well-documented, yet also the most dubious of the outsider's visitation are his encounter with the men and women of the Abbey of the Everyman. Aside from a vague description of the temptation which the overseers and oracular sisters both attribute to the outsider's presence, there are cases of outsider visitation in this category which merit our attention. The first is the bloviating account of the confrontation between the outsider and High Overseer Francis Perry. It is maintained that the outsider assumed the form of a large serpent and attacked the High Overseers in his chambers. Okay. I must stress the falsity of this story. The outsider's physical form exists bodily in the void, and does not, as we know, shapeshift like a trickster from some fanciful tale. However, turning to the confession of an excommunicated oracular sister by the name of Romana Kime, we find a plausible tale. She recounted a dream in which the outsider appeared to her and, understanding the circumstances of her wrongful conviction of apostasy, offered her a gift. This was rejected. The next morning she was branded and turned out to the street. Bon bah voilà. Alors, je pense qu'on est prêt à aller voir l'œil. Les eyes. Allons faire. Hop. Alors je propose, avant d'y aller, qu'on s'arrête là. Parce que je pense que ça sera déjà une très très grande vidéo. Et qu'on se retrouve pour la suite dans la prochaine. Allez, d'ici là, et ben comme d'habitude, ciao ciao!